What's going on, YouTube? We back with another quick breakdown. And in this video, we got the legendary comedian Corey Holcomb and his 5150 crew. And actually, they're celebrating their 14th year anniversary for the 5150 podcast. And I wanted to congratulate them on that. But in this particular video, Corey is breaking down the war between Stephen A. Smith and Jason Whitlock. And what Corey is saying is that 2024 is going to be the year of exposing all the lies. When I look at that, we look at what Cat Williams did on the Club Shay Shay interview, and he pretty much turned the entire industry upside down. And what Corey is saying in this particular clip is that Jason Whitlock exposed the lies that Stephen A. Smith told about him playing college basketball. Now, Stephen A., of course, you know, the world-renowned ESPN analyst. And as we know, Stephen A. Smith has always said that he played for Winston-Salem State University under Clarence Big House Gaines as the head coach. And he gave this elaborate story how they were playing pickup and he made 17 shots, 17 threes in a row, and Clarence Big House Gaines gave him a scholarship on the spot. Well, people are calling cap on that story, and they've come with some receipts, and Jason Whitlock came with some receipts. Now, Corey has always had an issue with Stephen A. Smith because of the way that he covers stories on black athletes. Corey has always felt as though Stephen only covers negative stories about black athletes and simply ignores negative stories about white athletes in other cultures. And Corey has always been on Stephen A.'s back about that. And I definitely agree with Corey when it comes to that. And I made a previous video about that. And Corey's focus in this video is basically telling Stephen A. Smith, stop lying. If you didn't play college ball, you didn't play college ball. But by becoming very, very emotional in his response to Jason Whitlock, it shows signs of being guilty. So let's get into what Corey has to say, and I'll catch you on the other end.
We starting with Stephen A. Hurt feelings for capping Smith. Stephen A. Smith got caught capping. Stephen A. Smith lied about hooping for Winston-Salem State. It was all a cap, because when you put that in your little memoir book, you know, they ain't reading that way. But for them to be trying to get at it, they read it. And they caught you up, didn't they? Because some dude says that I was in agreement with. When get caught, he don't never say you lying. He get to talk about you. You fat. I can't stand that fat. He caught you, Stephen A. You was capping. Because Cat Williams said, somebody at industry plant, now that word out there.
Right.
Oh, man.
What's the fat name?
Jason Whitlock.
Name said I used to be a friend of Corey's.
Oh, the one with the big eyes?
Jason Whitlock.
Yeah.
Caught you up, Stephen A. He is a fat. He looking for clout. All that. But you got busted out for lying and said you was a hooper. And you ain't never hooped out your own mouth. After you lied and said you did a hoop for Winston-Salem State. First of all, when I saw you walking, I knew you ain't never hooped. That walk with his pelvic forward. Like a fat. All you walk and they pelvic be in front, I don't like you. Hoopers walk with a sort of limp to it because your knees be hurting, all that. I saw Stephen A. on NBA court one day. Had on a little jacket that he got with his little money they pay at ESPN, and he was walking with his pelvic forward. I was like, hey, that's a goofy, dog. Don't even walk with their pelvic forward. Get your goofy out of here. You ain't hoop. You got caught. You a plant for ESPN. Y'all have meetings in the morning and they tell you what they want you to say. How they want you to dog out brothers and sisters on ESPN, and the main reason you was mad at garbage Jason Whitlock is because you was bust out in front of your colleagues.
What Corey is talking about is that Stephen A. Smith has been caught telling the story two different ways. In one instance, he said that he played one game in college and hurt himself and didn't play anymore. Another instance, when he was on Paul George's podcast, he said he didn't play any games in college.
You actually received a basketball scholarship.
Yes, I was on a basketball scholarship at Winston-Salem State University. My first year there, I cracked my kneecap in half. I was never able to play again. I actually had to leave school for a semester to go home under my mother's insurance to rehab because they wouldn't pay for the insurance.
The receipts show that he did play one game, and you can see the stats on the screen. But the thing is that he said in that one game, he averaged 1.5 points per game. And you know that's impossible to do if you only play one game. Now, my question is, why does Stephen A. Smith feels as though he has to lie about his past in terms of basketball? You've been reporting on basketball for forever now. I don't even think that that's an issue. Either people watch you or they don't. I haven't watched Stephen A. in years because I just got tired of the way that he covered black athletes and then all of the screaming. I didn't see much value in that. And then I did see the difference in his behavior after he was suspended that time for saying what he said about domestic violence towards women. He came back totally different, and he made sure that he focused on the black athlete and maintaining those negative stories and narratives about black athletes, completely ignoring their counterparts when it comes to negative press. So that's what Corey is really pinpointing here.
Spinal.
He said, I cracked my knee, I didn't play. Well, how did you average 1 point? You capping.
Wait,
It
so
ain't-
did he play or not? What's 1.5 points?
No,
What do
he
you mean?
ain't never played.
So it was a total fifth?
He said he cracked his knee and he had to go back home and use his mama insurance and all that sucker. That's a cap.
He got her involved in the lie too?
He put his mama in the lie. I know you gonna act like you ain't see this. Thanks, Joe Thompson. I know you gonna act like you ain't see this show. I don't sugarcoat it. I'm not looking for friends who be capping. Capping about hooping? Get your garbage out of here. You ain't never hooped for nobody, dog. Did what you had to do to get in with ESPN, and when they suspended you that one time for what you said about women, you promised them you're gonna be a good boy after that, and you've been on black people ever since.
Real
That's
talk.
the Stephen A. Smith memoir you should have wrote. When I thought I was gonna get fired, I promised my boss, because he loved calling him his boss. He say that on purpose. He say it proudly.
When you have this holier than thou mindset and aura about yourself, you're setting yourself up for a downfall, because as soon as people find any inadequacies within your story, they're going to pile on. And that's exactly what's happening right now with Jason Whitlock and Stephen A. Smith. He's purposely put there to create those narratives and the optics that we see in the media when it comes to stories about people that look like him. But when he talks about other communities, he's smiling and having a great time and has nothing but positive, intelligent things to say. But the thing is, when we look at Stephen A. Smith and this particular situation, he set himself up for this by having this omnipotent mindset and the way that he delivers his message. And I think that Corey was really trying to pinpoint that particular point, because now that Stephen A. has his show on YouTube, you see his language has changed, his body language has changed, his whole disposition has changed, because now he's trying to target that urban market, because he understands that he lost a lot of that market share by working with ESPN and continuously covering stories about black athletes in a negative light. So my question is, do you feel any different about Stephen A. Smith because he may or may not have played college basketball, because he may or may not have lied about playing college basketball. This is all allegedly, even though the receipts can clear things up for you a little bit and help focus on some of those facts that he claimed were truthful. Because really what it looks like is that we're fighting for YouTube clicks now. Find other stories. And how about telling some positive stories? That doesn't sell? So if it's not something negative, you're not gonna get the clicks. Tell me what you think about that. And like we always say, let's change the narrative and refocus the optics. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one.